So I spoke about this earlier too, about the pandemic, the unvaccinated, right? We need you to believe it, to accept it, for it to be real, right? Let's take a look at something else.
There is a clear message that is coming through. This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
The only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated. We're still in a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
The pandemic of the unvaccinated.
We have a pandemic among the non-vaccinated. My message to unvaccinated Americans is this: what more is there to wait for? What more do you need to see? We've made vaccinations free, safe, and convenient. The vaccine has FDA approval. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us.
All right. I think you see there that the pandemic of the unvaccinated. So if the vaccines work that well, you wouldn't need the unvaccinated to get vaccinated, because the vaccines would work fine. Now, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to tell whether I'm vaccinated or not. I'm not going to push you or criticize you whether you're vaccinated or not. But the whole idea that the vaccine only works if everyone is vaccinated doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It defies what a vaccine is. It defines what effective is, right? It's not the same thing. If it's a pandemic of the unvaccinated, and the problem are the unvaccinated people, then they would be the ones getting sick, not the vaccinated. I just saw, what was it, yesterday? Whoopi Goldberg. I think she's had both vaccines. She's had a booster, and she was shocked that she got COVID. She tested positive for Omicron or whatever. Well, yeah. The 15 days to flatten the curve when it initially rolled out was not 15 days so people wouldn't get sick. It was 15 days to flatten the curve so the hospitals could handle the load, because there was a good chance that a lot of people, if not everybody, was going to, at some point in time, get the Rona. Okay, this was a known thing. But you've got natural immunity, you've got which maybe you can or can't talk about. You've got other things out there that you can do preventative or treatment wise. And then of course there are the vaccines. And I think it's very important, again, to do your research and figure out what's going on. 3 questions. If the vaccines work, right? Why the continued restrictions? Why is our economy still in the pits? And why do the unvaccinated need to be vaccinated?
Well, Chris, what you've asked is a 3-part question, and I think I'll answer the last question first. What was the question?
Basically. That's basically what you get when you ask those questions, right? Just do as I say, keep doing it. I do a terrible Fauci impersonation, but you get it. Just do what we tell you to do. Let's check this out. All right, let's look at some of these headlines. Italy targets unvaccinated with restrictions as cases rise. Kroger adds monthly surcharge for unvaccinated workers, cuts their COVID-19 sick leave. Scott says 5% of unvaccinated Vermonters are the problem. The unvaccinated are the problem there. And a doctor says pandemic of unvaccinated as COVID-19 surge overwhelms hospitals. Look, there are plenty of videos, testimonies, whatever out there that will tell you that the idea of a hospital is to be at capacity. They want to make money. The more people in beds, the better, right? So the fact that they're like, we're overwhelmed, that's either coming from a lot of people being sick, like way too many people being sick that they don't have enough beds, or could be from them laying off a whole bunch of nurses when there was another, variant coming out or whatever. So keep in mind that a lot of this stuff may be, self-promoted. This may be something that was created. And I don't mean the virus. Don't cancel me. Don't report me. But I mean some of the issues that we're seeing are created, right? The economy, which they'll tell you is great. We'll get to that in a minute. The economy issues, the overall health issues, because it's not just whatever virus is out there. There's a lot of mental issues going on with people that are still struggling with everything that's going on in the world. Okay. And it's not helping, especially if they're having financial hardships, right? Okay. So a lot of this stuff is manufactured. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you very much. A lot of these issues are manufactured. They are created by someone with, I would assume, the plan to benefit from those issues, whatever it is. Okay. If you don't participate, you're to blame. Okay. So this is, again, what do we need you to do? We need you to be vaccinated, because if you're unvaccinated, you're actually the problem. We need you to believe of my identity, my pronouns. You need to call me that. Otherwise, it's not done. It's not real. I'm not validated. So that destroys the whole concept or something. I don't know. So if you don't participate, you're to blame. You're homophobic, transphobic, fatphobic, xenophobic, anti-vaxxer, Trump supporter, which is now a term, I guess, hate speech, another made up term, science denier. Look, at the end of the day, you can be all about the vaccine, but against vaccine mandates. You can be pro vaccine, but also pro doing your own research and finding out about it. But to a lot of these people, you're an anti-vaxxer. Or if you say anything that goes against the science, whatever that is, it's because science isn't settled on anything, you're a Trump supporter. And again, this is how they divide. This is how they push people away. And they do it all the time. All right, let's look at some more. Right now, they will tell you these things, and they will then turn around and say, hey, the economy's doing great. It just doesn't seem like it, but it is. Economy's doing great. We need you to believe that. Let's put it on every news network. Let's feed it to you nonstop. Here's an article. Here's an article. Here's a news media. News 24 hours running it. Hey, look how great the economy's doing. It was said that Biden's administration, press secretary or whatnot, Jen Psaki, met with some news outlets and told them they need to lighten it up and give him some better coverage. And Don Lemon's celebrating, I think, 3 cents or 8 cents or whatever it was, drop in gas prices, which is still like over $1 more, or maybe $2 more than what it was like a year previously. So it's really interesting seeing how they're twisting the narrative to try to get you to believe. Let's take a look at a couple things. Here's a good one. They want you to believe that Biden is the one in charge, and they're going to make sure you understand that.
So who's the real president of this country? Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden, Madam Vice President?
Come on, Charlemagne.
Come
on. It's Joe Biden.
I can't tell sometimes.
No. It's Joe Biden. And don't start talking like a Republican about asking whether or not he's president.
Do you think Joe Manchin is a problem?
It's Joe Biden. And I'm vice president. And my name is Kamala Harris.
I can't stand that woman. Very humble, very gracious vice president. All right, so they want you to believe Joe Biden is the president, that Joe Biden's making the calls, and we see him all the time telling who he is supposed to call on, who he's not supposed to call on, and so forth. Let's look at some more. Why inflation can actually be good for everyday Americans and bad for rich people. I have never seen that work out to be the case. NBC suggests not having Thanksgiving turkey this year to deal with inflation cost. Okay. Gas prices actually aren't that high. And inflation is good for you. And another one, why Americans are so grumpy about their economic boom. So what they're telling you is the economy is good. Gas prices are low. The economy is not only good, but it's booming, and you're ungrateful for it. Now, look, I know some of those articles are older, but I just wanted to point out what they're saying. So go without a turkey for Thanksgiving. Hey, maybe, don't invite as many people over. Well, that wouldn't be the case, and that wouldn't be an issue if the economy was legitimately doing better. I could have 2 turkeys this year. I invite twice as many people. But no, the narrative is it's doing good, but you have to pull back. Doesn't make any sense. Let's look at a couple more things here. All right. Biden suspends oil and gas leasing and slew of executive actions on climate change. Yeah, he did that as soon as he got into office because of climate change. He wanted to push for climate change. So a lot of people lost their jobs. And frankly, we cut out our own oil supplies here in America. And then he made deals for other nefarious countries to continue making oil and actually purchase oil from them. But they don't know why the gas prices are high. It's their fault. It's not his. It's not this administration's. It's the gas companies, the oil companies from the Middle East or wherever that we're getting it from, because they're being greedy. Let's go to this one. Here's why groceries keep getting more expensive. You probably realize that shopping for food and household basics is more expensive these days. Expect to keep paying more for groceries in 2022. Prices shoppers pay for groceries climbed 1% in October from September and were 5.4% higher than at the same time last year, according to data. I think it's showed on here somewhere. According to 2019 data, the latest available households and the lowest income group spent an average of $4,400 on food, representing 30% of their income, while households in the highest income segment spent an average of $13,987 on food, representing 8% of income, according to the Department of Agriculture. And so why that is important, lowest income group spent a higher percentage, 36% of everything they earned was spent on food. Yet the highest income segment spent 8%. They spent more money, but it was only 8% of their income on food. But they will tell you that inflation is better for you and me, you and I, than it is for the wealthy. It's not. It's not. It's absolute lies. Absolute lies. That statement right there directly conflicts with the article about the inflation impacting the 1% more. You can't have it both ways, guys. Okay? All right. This administration keeps blaming the former Trump administration, CEOs, all right, CEOs for being greedy, raising prices, forcing consumers to pay more. They're blaming the unvaccinated because reasons. And they're blaming you. Blaming you for everything, be it the unvaccinated or be it you're not wearing your mask enough, you're not social distancing enough. Heaven forbid, there's plenty of videos and pictures of them not doing it. But rules for thee, not for me. Hey guys, thanks for checking out this clip from the Morning Mayhem. Remember, this is just a portion of the full show that comes out every Friday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. If you hadn't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the full shows or these tasty little nuggets.